Such as, there was probably a man named John Henry. Was he a railway worker? Very likely. Could he really swing a hammer faster than a steam shovel could cut through a mountain? Probably not. There was probably a man named Paul Bunyan. He probably was a forestry worker. But did he really have an ox for a pet, and was he taller than a redwood? Not likely. Tall tales can be humorous, and some of the best ones indeed are, but they're not always humorous. Some of them can be dramatic. In fact, I'll give you an example. Timer, give me 3 minutes. Y'all know who Davy Crockett is, right?
Yeah.
Where did Davy Crockett die?
Alamo.
Died at the Alamo. How did he die? That's our tale. Some say he died at the wall he was defending. Some say he died in the convento where prisoners and wounded soldiers were. But my favorite tale of how Davy Crockett died came from the Mexican side of the line. There was a story that we didn't know about until about 30 years ago, when it was discovered in a diary somewhere, that General Antonio López de Santa Anna, the leader of the Mexican forces, discovered that Davy Crockett was one of the defenders of the Alamo, and he gave orders that he personally was going to kill Crockett. That way he could crush Texian morale and end the rebellion right there. He told Mexican soldiers, I don't care if you have to run away from him. Nothing touches Crockett. I personally am going to kill the Lion of the West. Now imagine you're simple David Crockett from Tennessee. You're aware of that Davy fella, you know, the one who can jump the Mississippi and ride lightning bolts and fight bears, but you know you ain't him. You're just a simple man trying to defend what he wants to be his home, but everybody's watching thinking you're that Davy fella and you can do all these miracles, so you've got to be real careful about how you conduct yourself. But as you're fighting, you're noticing the bullets seem to be flying around you. They're going over you. Bayonets are going around you. You don't understand what's happening. And suddenly, after about several hours, you discover that you're the last Texian standing. There are 2,000 Mexican soldiers inside the Alamo. And in that gate walks the Napoleon of the West, General Antonio López de Santa Anna, in full dress uniform. And he says, through an interpreter, if you want to beg for your life, Davy Crockett, now would be the appropriate time. What do you do? You're standing there looking at him. You look around, there's nothing but Mexican soldiers around you. And then you smile and say, now what would Davy Crockett do? You look at the interpreter and say, now you tell the general that if he'll have his men assemble peacefully and lay down their arms, I'll take you to General Houston and I'll do my best to spare most of your lives. Now that being said, Sam's a mite prickly, so no promises. You tell him. You tell him! A very nervous translator looks at the Napoleon of the West and says, Your Excellency, he wants us to surrender to him. In the absence of facts, legend fills in the gaps. History tells us that Crockett died at the Alamo. But nobody's going to die here today because contests are an important part of the Toastmasters educational experience. That's called an excellent transition. I was rather proud of that one.